Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Monday the 26th of February 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political news today. So to start off with, this will be the big story of today and probably as well this week, or at least you'll see the story coming into all the other political narratives as well this week. Big Labour policy announcement today. Labour are pitching for a soft Brexit vote. Now, what does that mean? This was agreed last week by Corbyn and his top team. Reportedly, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn will make a speech in Coventry in which he will announce Labour's support for Britain's membership of a customs union with the EU post-Brexit. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that it won't be the same as the customs union, which is currently in place. It'll be something different. And a Corbyn government would renegotiate a new treaty between the EU and the UK on a customs union deal, which would replace the current benefits of the current customs union with effectively the same job, roughly the same benefits and the same relationship in terms of the customs arrangements going forward. So there'd be common tariffs with the EU, and the crucial element to that is UK would therefore not be able to write and forge its own trade deals with other countries independently of the EU, as it would be locked together under a customs union with it. Now, Corbyn's gone a little bit shorter of pledging full commitment to the single market, which is what some of his Labour MPs would have loved him to do, and you'll probably see some backlash from some pro-Remain, particularly pro-Remain and soft Brexit Labour MPs today, that Corbyn didn't go that full way of customs union and single market. However, as you saw yesterday on the Sunday shows, if you're watching them as well, significant backlash from Brexit, or at least Labour members of Parliament who are from very Brexit-supporting areas over possibly the watering down of Brexit with this customs union arrangement. David Davis, the Brexit Secretary, obviously a member of the Conservative Party, has already been on the airways accusing Jeremy Corbyn of selling snake oil to voters over Brexit. Now, the most significant thing regarding this is what's going to happen in Westminster. There is going to be a parliamentary showdown over the customs union with regards to the Brexit negotiations and the future relationship between the government, the Conservatives, and Labour. Now, Sir Keir Starmer said yesterday the Prime Minister does not have a majority in the Commons for leaving the customs union, and he may well be right, because there are a number of Conservative MPs who are very much of the view that the UK should stay close and in the customs union, or a customs union with the EU post-Brexit, and whether they will be able to join the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister in voting for a no customs union deal, as opposed to the Labour Party's amendment, which will be for a customs union deal, will dictate whether the government will be defeated on this motion or not. So what effectively is going to happen is an amendment's going to be put forward on the forthcoming trade bill, different from the withdrawal bill, the trade bill, which is going to effectively force the government into signing up to a customs union. And it will basically, because the government's very slim majority, it will be up to those Conservative MPs and indeed the Labour MPs as to whether the government is going to be defeated or not. Really interesting stuff, and certainly a massive political event when that vote comes in the next few months. Next up, though, is still on Brexit, but this time looking more about the devolution arrangement. Another Road to Brexit speech out today, this time from Cabinet Office Minister David Lidington. Now, this is his first big speech since being appointed by Theresa May as her effectively de facto Deputy Prime Minister after Damien Green had to step down. He will head to North Wales today to set out what Brexit means for the four nations of the United Kingdom. In particular, there's been a lot of noise about what's going to happen to all of those powers which currently sit in the EU, which are going to come back to the UK, but specifically which relate to certain nations of the country. Should those powers, or at least some of them, go to the devolved administrations rather than going all to Westminster? Now, that's the key question. That's what the Welsh Government and indeed the Scottish Government are particularly concerned about. The promise from David Lidington today will be that new amendments to the EU withdrawal bill will reassure devolved assemblies that most of the powers repatriated from Brussels will be in fact handed on to devolved administrations, but there is reports that the Welsh and Scottish governments will not be satisfied with the speech today. But that's, again, something to look out for later on today. And finally, a bit of a shock in the Labour Party today, or rather on Friday evening, with regarding to the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party. The ousting of Ian McNicol on Friday night. Now, he was the chairman of the Labour's National Executive Committee, very important figure. Now, the Parliamentary Labour Party meets today at 6 o'clock, and it was a shock to members that this has happened. A very prominent figure, very much a moderate figure. Jeremy Corbyn and his team had been very much gunning to get rid of this person for a very long time. Moderates again will fear that this is part of the purge of the moderate Labour Party and the instalment of people who are very much subordinate to Jeremy Corbyn and indeed supportive of the hard left Labour movement as opposed to the centrist Labour movement. And this is compiled by reports today that Andrew Murray is back in Corbyn's office. Now, who is Andrew Murray? He's a part-time advisor, but he is a Unite trade union supremo, and he is in fact Glenn McCluskey's all-powerful chief of staff. Now, he's a close friend of Corbyn's spin doctors, Seamus Milne, and he was seconded to the leader's office during the election last year. However, again, very much a trade union figure, very much a hard left supporting figure. Could be further evidence that there's going to be a firming of the hard left power base within the Labour Party and the purging of the moderates' power within the party as well. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and at Twitter right here. We'll be back again at roughly 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Until then, from all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your week.